Hi, I'm Dr. Divina Lopez, a board certified pediatrician with over 10 years of experience in pediatrics, and you are listening to Dancing into Parenthood. Hi, this is Dr. Divina Lopez. So, in this podcast, we will be discussing what type of parent do you want to be? So, my question is, have you ever really thought about this? I think most of the time when parents or when people are deciding to become parents, they're so focused on what do they need to have for the baby, that they don't really give too much thought into the different kind of parenting styles that they may want to adopt. And I don't think that this is even something that most people discuss in the prenatal period, and it really is an important topic to talk about because you may have really opposite ideas about how you want to raise your children or what kind of parenting style you want to adopt. So, generally, there are 4 types of parenting styles. And your parenting style usually is a combination of the strategies that you're going to use, to raise your child, and also the parenting styles that were used by your caregivers when you were a child. So the 4 types, which were categorized in the 60s, are the authoritarian or disciplinarian type. There is the permissive or indulgent type, the uninvolved type, and the authoritative type. So in each of the 4 styles, there are 4 areas that they basically break it down into, which is on discipline, communication, nurturance, and expectations. So I'm just going to go over them with you. That way you have a clear understanding of them. Honestly, I think that no one actually sticks to one type. You probably will do a combination of some of them. You may switch from one to the other, but I think that it's important to have an idea of the approach that you would like to take in parenting. So let me just give you the 4 different styles of parenting, so you have a clear idea of what they are. In the authoritarian parenting type, there are these parents are thought of as disciplinarians. They use strict discipline with little negotiation, and punishment is common. Communication is mostly one way, that's from the parent to the child, and rules are not explained. Parents with this style are typically less nurturing, and their expectations are very high with limited flexibility. The permissive parenting type, this is the indulgent parenting type. These parents mostly let their kids do what they want and offer limited guidance or direction. They are more like friends than parents. Their discipline style allows children to figure out problems on their own. They have limited or no rules. Communication is very open with this type of parenting style, but these parents let their children decide for themselves rather than giving them guidance and direction. These parents tend to be very warm and nurturing. Their expectations are typically minimal or not set by the parents at all. Then there's the uninvolved parenting style. These type of parents give children a lot of freedom and generally stay out of their way. They're really not involved in the child's life. There's no particular discipline utilized. They let the child do what they want, mostly because they're really not interested or they're unsure what to do. Communication is limited, there's little nurturing, and there's few expectation of the children. Then there is the authoritative parenting type, and this type of parenting really is the best sort of parenting type to adopt. These parents are reasonable, they're nurturing, they set high, clear expectations. These children tend to be self-disciplined, they think for themselves. This style is most beneficial to children because rules are clear and the reason behind them is explained. And sometimes these children can even help to set the rules at home because they have good, clear communication with their parents. So as they get older, they may have more input into the rules. Communication is frequent. It's appropriate for the child's level of understanding because remember, a child is going through so many stages of life. You have to know how to speak to your child where they're at whichever stage of life that they're going through. These parents are very nurturing and they set expectations and goals that are high, but they're clearly stated. And these children also have input into their own goals. So it may be a good idea for if you are raising your child with someone to have a good conversation with your partner about which kind of parenting style you would like to adopt or which one do you think is the best to practice. But I think it's best if at least one parent practices the authoritative type. Think about how your parents raised you and what were the things that you liked about their parenting, and also think about the things that you didn't like about their parenting, because obviously you want to incorporate the things that you thought were or the styles that they use. You want to incorporate that into your own parenting style if that was something that you thought was really useful for you growing up. So I know that when the baby isn't present, you're thinking, okay, this is a newborn. Why am I thinking about these different parenting styles? I think that it's important because parenting really starts very early on. You may think a newborn is not really understanding too much, but they really respond to the nurturing and the tone of voice that's being used. And newborns turn into toddlers very quickly, and so you want to make sure that you're starting to implement some rules and discipline that's going to help to raise a really functional, thriving child. Every parent wants the best for their children, and I'm sure that you want to have a child who is well behaved, who's being raised correctly, who also responds well to other people. And you're teaching that to your own child while they're growing up, and it's through that socialization that you have with your child, and part of that is through your parenting. They will also mirror what you're doing, and they'll get social clues from the way that you are behaving with other people. But everything really starts at home. And in order to have a child who is understanding how relationships are formed and how to have good relationships, you're the one who is giving them the first ideas and tips and showing them how to make those relationships work. So just the way you watched your own parents, these children are watching you. And hopefully you're able to provide a good structure, a good parenting style and structure so that they can follow that themselves. I hope you found this advice helpful. Have a good conversation with whoever the caregivers are. If you have a partner, then have a good conversation with your partner, and just to bounce off ideas of how you would like to raise your child and what kind of parenting style you would like to implement. Thank you.
To listen to more podcasts, please visit us at drdivinalopez.com and follow us on Instagram at Dr. Divina Lopez. Thank you for listening. Please keep in mind that all advice given in this podcast is general information. To understand your specific situation, you must consult with your pediatrician.